for all the students. So
Right.
I think you know how to do, and I want to leave all of the class to you.
Okay, so I think that we will just go ahead when we're ready and just do a little introduction. I think, do you want to introduce me or shall I introduce myself?
Sure, I will introduce you.
You'll do that.
Please introduce yourself completely, because you will introduce yourself in proper way. Just I will invite you and you can continue.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. We can do that.
Sure. Thank you so much. We are waiting to our students to join us. We have attendees from Middle East, from India, from Europe, and some from Africa and US as well.
Okay.
So we are waiting for them to join us. We can start in next 7 minutes. Still, we have 7 minutes time.
Yes, it's no problem. I mean, I just thought we'd just connect and make sure it was all working. I hope, you manage the videos? I think
yes, everything.
I think I've maybe got just one little extra one. I might just slot in from this side because you've got, I think I gave you two. I think I gave you the monitoring growth. Yes. So there's two.
Everything is with us.
Okay, so for this one,
I'm talking. You're interested. I did. Oh, sorry, I'm very sorry. Okay. I did okay. I did. Sorry, I'm talking with our IT group and with our manager in the meantime. I'm very sorry.
Yeah, I was out today. I saw one of my ladies today, two of them actually. One who delivered the baby and one whose baby is due this month.
Very nice, very nice. You must be busy these days. Plus, you are managing midwives in New Zealand. Plus, you are doing many homeopathy research, and in the meantime, conducting the birth. It's not easy to manage everything. You're Superwoman.
Yeah, I haven't really been conducting the births. I've been working with another midwife, and she tends to do the births, and I do the mums and the postnatals. And mainly it's because of the COVID and the lockdowns, and the women need lots of psychological support because they can't bring family from overseas to be with them. Normally my Indian ladies can bring their parents from India, but they have nobody here. Correct. So they're very isolated. So they need a lot of, it's more emotional work, I think, than anything else. So yeah, so we have to deal with them emotionally and give them that extra little bit of support. So that's what I've been doing these last few months. You are doing great job. The most important for birth is emotional support. Yes, birth is natural. Everything can happen by its own. It's the most important thing you are doing. So we've got some, some great things here. We've got lots of problems because we've lost, I think, about 400 midwives because they're not going to take the vaccination. And, now she's cutting it down. So you can't go to the hairdressers unless you're vaccinated. It's really bad here. It's very, very bad. I can't believe this country's gone this way. Oh my God. So strict rules. Pardon? So strict rules. They don't have any choice, so they should go under vaccination there, like this. Well, the thing is that we know what's in the vaccination, so we're not taking them. Got thousands and thousands of people going to the streets and standing in front of Parliament, and they will take the country back. Yeah, there's America has to sort itself out and sift out all these evil people. So they've done lots of changes and they've nearly cleaned their swamp. Once that's done, then it will spread globally. So we've got lots of good things happening very soon, I think. So we're always optimistic and preparing for the future. Yeah, that's true. And we're going to have a beautiful future. They've promised us after this, when they've cleaned the decks and we've got rid of these politicians that are taking away people's rights, then we will have peace for 1,000 years. And they're saying that there's a huge new proclamation just been released that will bring us all together. So I'm looking really forward to it, and I'm delighted we're going to see it. Yeah, everything is going to be happening the proper way. Many good change happened in the war. Well, they've made some new med beds. I don't know if you can see my phone here. Let me see if I can find you a picture of it. The med beds are actually, you know how our body, our life force, we live in energy form. And these med beds can direct the energies, yes,
Correct.
to help heal. So they can help with Alzheimer's and paralyzed people. And the Kabul governments have prevented this from getting to the people for I think more than 20 years. They've been available but not released because the drug companies have been holding everything together and more on drugs. But they released a picture of one today, so I don't know if I can hold my phone up, but I'll try. Just let me find who was the one I sent it to. I think I sent it to Sorry Midwife. Okay, so just it's somewhere up here. Oh, we have so much information coming around to all of us. Let me just see if I can find the med beds.
Yeah, take your time, don't worry. I'm here.
Oh, this is it. Okay, so these are the med beds. I don't know if you can see that pic. Can you see it?
No, I can't see.
Reflection. You better? That better? Can you see it? It looks like it's something in space.
Yeah, there is too much light on that, but I see some bed, I guess.
You see the bed,
blue
and then
bed, yes.
there's the overhead here. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So these display the energies into the person. So we're moving more to natural healing.
I see, yeah.
And these beds are going to be delivered to countries across the world. Yes, to help with neurological issues and things like that. I don't know the full capacity, but they're able to do things. And also the cures for cancer will be released once we get rid of this the pharmaceutical control over the world. So it's going to be very exciting. So we will be going back to your more natural healing and mind-body connection, and it's just all going to open out beautifully.
That's lovely. That's so lovely. That's
so
interesting. So interesting. Love to hear that.
So most of my time has been spent finding out what's happening in other countries, the politics and what's happening with the people and getting the feedback and the intel. So it's been quite interesting. So I think in my next life, I'll probably be able to teach history.
Because you are a researcher, that's why researchers manner is like this. They want to learn and know more and more. They never give up with learning, and this is very nice. It's fantastic character you have.
Well, I think I've never taken anything at face value. I've always questioned it. I think it's just when you're more connected and more spiritual, you're more creative. So if someone says you do this, I want to know, well, why am I doing it? You
are doing a great job. That is the best you are doing. It's the best.
Yeah.
I hope all of the students learn like that, because midwife should be like this. Midwife should be always in research and always checking every available new knowledge, new skills. This is what we should be as a midwife.
Yes, we need to be curious. Yeah, exactly. I think curious. Yeah. Exactly. Curious and question everything.
Exactly. Yeah. Correct. So nice.
So
now, I think now our time has started. Let's see, if you give me 1 minute, just I check our other.
It's sure.
Yeah, just give me 1 minute. I will come soon.
I can see your names coming up, guys, but I can't see your faces. I can see a lot of names, but I can't see their faces. I can see Gail.
Yeah, would you please turn on your video, dear beautiful friends? Hawla, Razia, Chris Bird, Gail, we want to see your beautiful face. If it's possible, turn on your video, please. Thank you so much. If you have possibility to say, oh, hi, Gail. Wow,
Hi, Gail.
so beautiful.
Oh, I love the green. I love the green. Oh,
so lovely. My favorite color too.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Lovely. Yeah, my voice is connected, Gail. I love you.
Gail, put your microphone on and we
Yes,
can chat.
yeah, I can hear now.
I just said it's the middle of the night here, so I had to perk myself up.
Well, you look amazing.
Thank you.
You are superb.
It's so nice to see you all again. Oh, I feel like I've been on like sabbatical, or I've been in solitary confinement or something.
We know the feeling. We've been in lockdown for I don't know how long.
I know. It's getting okay. So, I mean, this is fabulous. Oh man, I wish we could be together. I'm going to eat a peanut butter. give me some energy.
Hey,
having peanut butter.
Cheers, Gail. I've got a glass of wine.
Oh well, I've got a glass of tea with peanut butter, so I can wake up.
Absolutely.
If I would have a glass of wine with you, but if I did, I'd be back to sleep by about 30 minutes.
I don't drink much. I think I just usually have one occasionally in the evening, but not every evening.
No, me too.
Yeah,
I like wine. I like wine. I like wine, women, and song. Wine, women, and song.
Oh, that's great, because that's what we midwives do, isn't it? Wine, women, and song.
Yes, that's what we do. Mm-hmm. Oh, how is your COVID there? My COVID here is getting like really pretty bad. I've lost 3 people in the last, like my friends of friends, like acquaintances kind of people. Rotary members.
Well, we can get into a big debate, because we know that the vaccinations are spreaders of it.
Right. Well, I don't care what's happening. I'm just saying it's not good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're not treating them as they should. So it just depends which country you live in and which states you live in. Like Florida, for example, have stopped all the mandates, and everybody's gone back to work, and they've hardly got any COVID.
Well, I hope this gets over. I don't care how it gets over. Just we got to get over it. We got to get over it.
It's coming soon. Good news is coming soon. I've got the intel. Good news is coming soon to all of us. Okay, they've just been cleaning the swamp.
Oh. Well,
just clean the swamp.
It's a slow draining
undercover.
Swamp.
Yeah, it is, and it's because we can't see it, because they can't show us exactly what they're doing. But there's some great news coming to all of us. I was just showing Lily the picture of the new med beds that are going to come to every country. You can't see it very clear, but here is one.
Show me.
Okay, it's very hard to. Oh, hang on, I've got to tilt it up. It's like, can you see the ceiling of it? It's hard because it's on the phone.
Yeah, so what's good about it?
Okay, well, what the med beds do is they direct the body's energies, like we run on life force and the energies in our body.
Like Star Trek?
Yeah. And they can actually help paralyze people, Alzheimer's, heaps and heaps of things they can cure. And also the cures are going to come out for cancer, because they've held them back from us for so long. So
I believe that. I believe that there was too much money invested in treatment to be able to find a cure.
Mm-hmm. Well, we were looking in lots of the vaccinations, and lots of the vaccinations, if you look at the letters and the patents in them, they actually can cause cancer.
I know most of the side effects from medication, I'd rather keep what I've got.
Absolutely,
If I have a problem, when they tell you on TV, yeah, it can cause this, I think, holy crap, I'm going to keep my headache. I don't need a migraine pill, or I don't care.
Absolutely.
It's so scary.
It is, isn't it?
I have no health problems, thank goodness, because I would be a terrible patient.
Oh, well, I was one, because I got a little bit stressed with the COVID and coming back from China, and then, no job, can't get into the house. The car wasn't working when I got back, and so I went into the hospital because I had like inflammation of my bowel lower parts, and I was in quite a lot of distress. So I went into the hospital, and I was in quite a bit of pain, and I said, can I have a heat pack? They said, no, because we might burn you, but you can have some morphine. And the nurse was walking about with a tray of morphine. I said, I've come here with a bowel problem and this other problem, and you're going to make it worse?
Oh my goodness. What did she say then?
Well, because they're not educated in it. And then what happened was I spent a few days on the surgical ward, and I've already had part of my bowel taken away, and that was due through, I think it was stress when I was younger, but the doctors gave me lots of laxatives before I knew about the holistic health side of things. So I lost my bowel. I've only got a small piece left. So I'm on this ward, and they said to me, right, we want to give you some heparin so you don't have a stroke. So I said, do you not understand your anatomy and physiology? I said, I'm prone to vitamin K deficiency, and I'm prone to bleeding, and you want to give me something to make me hemorrhage?
And what did she say then?
I said, I don't think so. I decline.
I know, it's very scary. I went to my daughter has lost some of her bowel too. I have a daughter that lost some of her bowel. And when she went there, she didn't want any carbohydrates unless they were complex, right? And so when the lady brought in the dinner, she says, I can't eat this. She says, I don't want to eat any carbohydrates. She says, this isn't a carbohydrate, it's a potato.
Oh.
This was the nutritionist. I mean, this is insane.
And then we kind of say that, don't we, if you go on to the maternity wards, we spend all our life telling our women not to eat the white bread and the refined things, so to avoid getting mastitis and infections, and they stay in the hospital for 3 days, and all they feed them is bread and jam.
I know. Crazy. Yeah, when any of my family have to go to the hospital, even if it's like for a car accident, I stay 24/7. I will not leave. I sleep on the floor in a sleeping bag. In the hospital, I said, you can drag my butt out of here. But I said, I'm a retired nurse, and I understand I won't interfere with medical care. I'm lying, of course. I say, I won't interfere with medical care. I just want to be here to give her a glass of water and help her to the toilet and all that. They say, but ma'am, you have to go. I said, no, I'm not going. And I've always stayed with my people 24 when they go to the hospital. Yeah,
absolutely.
Pretty after I'm on the floor for a while, they say, get off the floor. We're bringing you a bed.
Okay. So Lily, are we about ready, or are we waiting for more to come?
And you're going to be teaching for the whole 2 hours? This is great.
Well, no. I'm just going to show a couple of videos, and then we're going to have an open discussions about putting things into practice. Yeah. So these are kind of videos. So we're going to want your feedback on the videos and see what you think, because the videos are actually directed to teach women, but they're what we as midwives should be teaching women.
Okay. Well, I'm very controversial on type 2 diabetes, by the way. I think that we're not handling it properly, and there's some new doctors in Canada that are doing totally releasing type 2 diabetes through fasting.
Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of amazing things coming out for it.
Yeah, I know.
So Lily, shall we start? Is it Razia and Zara and Koala? Can you put your videos on so we can see you?
Yeah.
Can't hear you, Lily.
Can't see or hear anybody. Just you. Your beautiful face. That's good.
Hello, thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our 3 days free midwifery course in our basic midwifery. And I'm with you from Lily Excellence Center. I am Leila Mostofi, founder of Lily Excellence Center and this beautiful training committee of Lily Excellence Center. These 3 days will be your basic midwifery course, and we will going to arrange another advancing midwifery for next month, 21st till 23rd of December. So Lily, we are a multinational organization in Lily, and we are headquartered in London, the UK. Our expertise lies in OB/GYN midwifery services of global standards. We offer OB/GYN, family health, and midwifery services to clients from various countries. Offer training and certification to aspiring midwives, healthcare professionals, and caregivers, and conduct workshops to generate awareness on the benefit of natural birth and midwifery, family health, SRHR, support the women empowerment, and work tirelessly in all related fields to achieve our ultimate goal, the betterment and progress of womankind. So, what is in these courses for you? In this course and upcoming workshop and courses, there is a chance to interact with the pioneers in the industry, listen to their experiences, and get an insight into the challenges, success stories, progress, and opportunities that are unique to the line of work. You can participate and share your own experiences if you wish, or simply sit back and get an understanding on how we work. You can ask questions, inquire about certification. If you find yourself stuck, you can reach us at our website, www.lilymcenter.com. So we are trying to provide some upcoming program for you. We have 18 months basic midwifery course for nurses. It's going by online and offline practical in India with this beautiful committee that you see as a practical midwifery course. And we are going to have advanced midwifery course for midwives and doctors. Plus, we will have clinical internship. It's in midwifery in India and Georgia. Plus, we are going to have some free upcoming online training event for you. One is in 8th December, it's about aquanatal, and another one will be from 21st to 23rd December, 3 days advanced free midwifery course. Today, we are with our fantastic midwife trainer, Mrs. Irene Chang from New Zealand. So please turn on your video. And after each session, you can ask your question. Just a housekeeping before we get started. If you have any question during the presentation, please type them in the chat box. And I will bring them up. I will try to bring them up during the presentation if necessary, or we will also have time to answer to all of your questions at the end. To keep quality of sound functional during the meeting, please mute yourself when you are not sharing. I may also mute the room if necessary, but please remember to unmute when you wish to share. Thank you so much, everybody. Please turn on your camera. And I want to introduce Mrs. Irene Cheng to come introduce herself and then start our session. Okay, now without further ado, we will turn the time over to you, dear Irene. Welcome, please.
Hi, everybody. I still can't see some of your faces on your videos. You've got audio, but it's be nice to see you all.
لطفاً ویدیوهاتون رو روشن کنین دوستان عزیز. Sorry, I'm talking different language because maybe
No problem.
لطفاً ویدیوهاتون رو در طی کلاس روشن کنین. مرسی.
Okay. So hi, I'm Irene. I have a double barrel name. I have Chain and Kalinowski. I'm more Polish-German descent. I have an English passport, but I don't have English blood. But I come from a long line of, my grandmother was the baby catcher in the villages of Poland, and she delivered 13 babies at home. My mother had 4 of us. We were home births. My sisters were driven first babies into the hospital, and they said they wouldn't go back to the hospital again, and had their other babies at home. Between them, they had 7 children. And I was very lucky because they're 14 years older than me. So I was looking after 7 children while they were working. So I didn't plan to be a midwife. I came into midwifery 42 years ago. I saw how it was, how medicalized it was, and I spent my whole life working to make it more woman-centered and more spiritual, because I really believe that birth is a very sacred event, and it should give every woman happy memories to pass on to her children. So my journey's taken me to many countries. It took me from England to the Middle East. I worked in Saudi, Bahrain, Oman, went back to England, went back to Saudi, and landed in New Zealand. And in New Zealand, I worked as an independent midwife for 20 years, full case loading. And that's when I transitioned actually from being a medical midwife into a very holistic one. And I studied homeopathy. And in 2005, I had a 98% normal birth rate. And that's because of the holistic approach to care. I then went to China. I've just spent 4.5 years in China. I've traveled north, south, east, and west, reducing C-section rates and integrating care. I've just written 5 textbooks for midwives. Each textbook has about 900 pages, covering the whole concept. It's integrated, so it's combined the medical model with the holistic practices, and those books have just gone to print. So, and I'm putting them on an app and working with Lily to make all this available to all of you people. And my intention is that I hope that you can all celebrate the births that I have done since I moved into a very holistic and integrated model of care. So today I'm going to speak a little bit about, just give you a couple of videos for prenatal care. And the videos are actually what we teach women. So because as a health care professional, we need to involve women and teach women about their own bodies and how to take care of them. So these are a couple of examples. Normally you'd get a handout, which is at an academic level on diabetes and the applied anatomy and physiology and the holistic approaches towards diabetes, to read before we do this. But today is just like a teaser, so you can just watch the videos and then we'll have a little discussion after each one. So the first one I've chosen is diabetes. And that's because the biggest problem I found looking after my multicultural women in New Zealand, especially women who come from India, diabetes was very, very high. And just by changing the diet and working with women, we've actually managed to reduce it. I rarely have women who develop diabetes. and other complications of pregnancy. So I hope that you find these videos useful. The first one will be looking at the blood tests and diabetes and understanding a little bit about leptin resistance. So if you want to play the first video, Lily, and then we'll get together and have a talk about it. It just takes a little while to load. Is it coming?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Is it playing?
Hi, Irene. This video I can see. Can you see it now?
I can see the video, but it's not playing.
Oh, you want me to play it?
Yeah, just start it. Yeah, just that's it. Okay.
In this section, you will learn how your pancreas works, how to keep your blood sugars normal, what happens if you don't watch your diet, about diabetes in pregnancy, how to avoid complications, about your blood tests. Your pancreas is situated across the back of your abdomen behind your stomach.
Leave that. They are not interested.
No, it is important for me.
I think it's frozen.
Enzymes in the pancreas help break down carbohydrates, fats, proteins, and acids in the small bowel. Endocrine tissue secretes bicarbonate to neutralize the stomach acid in your small bowel. Pancreatic enzymes travel down your pancreatic duct into your bile duct in an inactive form. They are activated when they enter your small bowel. Pancreatic hormones. Insulin and glucagon regulate the level of glucose in your blood. Your baby's growth and placental growth increases the production of cortisol, growth hormone, human placental lactogen, progesterone, estrogen, and prolactin levels. They trigger your body to produce higher amounts of insulin. Insulin production increases in pregnancy from around 24 weeks to control your blood sugar levels and protect your baby. You will have tests for diabetes at the beginning of your pregnancy, and your diabetic screen is usually done between 24 and 28 weeks of pregnancy. Between 24 and 28 weeks, it's recommended that all pregnant women are screened for gestational diabetes to check if your body's not resistant to insulin and to check if your pancreas is releasing enough insulin. They are checking to see if your blood sugar levels are stable or too high. It's preferred you do the test about 24 weeks because if your test comes up normal, you will have time to change your diet and lifestyle and deal with stress to reduce the levels. Pancreatic hormones. Your pancreas throws out insulin to protect you and your baby. But if you eat too many refined carbohydrates and sugars, don't exercise, and live with increased stress levels, your pancreas gets tired and gets overworked. It cannot produce enough insulin for your carbohydrate consumption. Your blood sugars get too high and you develop gestational diabetes. High blood sugar levels are linked to stillborn babies. If your blood sugar levels are uncontrolled, your baby may grow too large and you will be at risk of getting toxemia of pregnancy, high blood pressure, or a diabetic baby. Insulin hardens your blood vessels. It can create hemorrhoids, varicose veins, constipation, fluid retention, and edema. Your baby may be affected. Too much fluid around your baby can lead to preterm birth if your waters break. Growth restriction because of the hardening and narrowing of the blood vessels and the nutrients can't get from you to your baby. There's a high chance your baby may develop diabetes and increases your risk of medical interventions and C-sections. Do you feel tired half to 1 hour after eating a meal? Have a ravenous need for food 1 hour or 2 hours after eating? Have mood swings, highs to lows? Get depressed easily? Lack energy? If you say yes, you are eating too many unhealthy carbohydrates and not taking enough protein in your diet. It's important to control your diet. Rice, bread, noodles, and breakfast cereals are high in carbohydrates. Ice cream has a huge amount of sugar. Noodles are a healthier option as they have a lower glycemic index but should be eaten in moderation. You need to eat healthy foods that are full of protein and natural carbohydrates, nuts, beans, lentils, fish, lean meats, eggs, and even chickpeas. Protein balances your blood sugar levels. You need to avoid the foods that contribute to diabetes. Too much white rice, too many noodles or too much pasta, too much white bread, pizzas, sweet, sugary drinks, and takeaway foods that are deeply fried in saturated fats. Otherwise, you'll get a pancreatic headache. Eat healthy foods for balanced blood sugar levels, as you can see in these pictures. Berries, protein-rich foods, pomegranates, antioxidant vegetables, fish, buckwheat, vegetables, wheatgrass, carrot juice, pumpkin and pumpkin seeds, and milk. So pomegranate, milk, folate-rich food, vegetables, lean proteins, vitamin A-rich foods, vitamin K, and wheatgrass juice. So eat sensibly. Eat foods with natural carbohydrates and fibre, potatoes, sweet corn, carrots, and buckwheat. Fruits contain a lot of sugar. Vegetables are a healthier option, with 4 pieces of fruit a day. Eat foods high in natural protein, lentils, beans, peas, meat, fish, and nuts. Everything in moderation. Be sensible and exercise. These nuts are rich in protein and magnesium, a mineral that plays a key role in converting sugar into energy. Low magnesium levels can drain your energy, and good sources of magnesium include whole grains. Carbohydrates are vital for boosting your energy and mood. Whole wheat bread, brown rice, buckwheat. Your body's preferred source of fuel. Eat protein with them. Don't buy breads with added sugar. Your body absorbs whole grains more slowly, keeping your blood sugar and energy levels stable. Think sensibly. There's no point in jogging around the block if your diet is unhealthy. You'll do more harm than good to you and your baby. Your body talks to you. Connect with your body and look for the telltale signs. Too much weight gain. Fingers starting to swell. Your face looks larger. Swelling of your legs. Yes, it's a sign of eclampsia, but a sign that your diet's not healthy, too much stress and lack of exercise. Call your lead maternity carer and fix your diet. So let's simplify diabetes. Glucose is a technical term for blood sugar. When you eat sugar or any food that breaks down sugar into your body, you lift your body's blood sugar levels. When your blood sugar rises, your pancreas has to work and bring your blood sugars back down again. It does that by releasing insulin. When your pancreas releases insulin, it tells your glucose receptors to open, and one of three things happen. It's taken into the cell and immediately used for energy. Or excess glucose gets stored in the liver as glycogen and can be used at a later date if needed. Or it's stored as fat in the cell. So when you eat an unhealthy diet, when you eat sugar and carbohydrates, it's more sugar than your body needs. So a great deal of it is getting stored as fat. You gain unhealthy weight, and so does your baby. Glucose is essential for your mind and body to function properly. Too much glucose leads to things like insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. You don't want too much sugar or too little. Too little leads to things like low blood sugar, lack of energy. Unfortunately, many of you don't notice the arrival of insulin resistance symptoms before it's too late. You've not been educated about what to look for, and the diet we've been led to believe is healthy is really causing it. Don't overwork your pancreas, be kind to it. You need to consume a lot more vegetables and protein and a reduced amount of the breads and the rice. Every time you eat sugar or a food that gets broken down into sugar, including starches and whole grains, your body goes through an amazing process that breaks your sugars down. Over time, you will have too much sugar in your system for your pancreas to handle if you continue to eat the refined foods and sugary foods and saturated fats. If you constantly eat foods that force your body to go through the process, your body can't cope, and you'll get a pancreatic headache, or your pancreas will stop functioning. So each time your pancreas detects sugar in the bloodstream, it releases insulin. Your liver can only store a certain amount of glycogen in it, so the sugar keeps getting stored in the cell as fat. You put on weight, your baby gets dumped with unhealthy fat. Eventually, your glucose receptors say, hey, we've got too much fat in here, we can't store anymore, and they resist the pressure of the pancreas to store anymore. And your pancreas says, I'm getting a pancreatic headache because my cells are swimming and dancing in sugar. And this woman keeps pumping us with more sugar, so we have to get it out of her bloodstream. Your pancreas releases even more insulin and forces your glucose receptors to store more of it as fat. Your glucose receptors get even more resistant and refuse to store any more as fat, so your pancreas releases more insulin. The more sugar in your bloodstream, the more your pancreas releases insulin and the more resistant your receptors become. High levels of insulin get released on a continual basis called hyperinsulinism. High levels of insulin in your body results in the disruption into the cells, enlargement of your pancreas, inflammation, and it creates a landslide of destruction to the various systems in your body, especially your liver, and exposes you to the condition of preeclampsia. Eventually, your body stops responding to insulin. Your pancreas either gets too worn out to continue its work, or it gets damaged by the high levels of insulin and can no longer release insulin. This is when blood sugar levels remain high and type 2 diabetes begins. Most screening tests are based upon taking blood investigations, dietary advice, and exercise. But dietary advice can be very confusing. You need to learn about insulin resistance and how it affects you and your baby. And then you can teach this to your growing child to prevent your child developing diabetes. You might want a referral to a complementary therapy specialist who can help you with dietary advice, coping skills for stress, and homeopathy is a great supportive option. Insulin resistance often occurs at the same time as leptin resistance. Leptin is a hormone in our fat cells that tells us when we're full after eating food. When leptin resistance develops, your hunger cravings don't turn off. It leads to overeating and cravings for sugar and carbohydrates. Obesity occurs. High triglycerides build the adipose fat tissue located just below the skin. Later stage insulin resistance symptoms include autoimmune disorders, polycystic ovary syndrome, infertility, weakened immune system, nutritional deficiencies, kidney disease, blood clots, food allergy and sensitivity, constipation, and many more problems. Stress. If you're continuously under stress, your liver will be constantly releasing sugar into your bloodstream, and your pancreas will be constantly releasing insulin. When you're under stress, your adrenal glands release adrenaline, which tells your liver to dump its glycogen into your bloodstream to deal with the stress at hand. Eventually, your glucose receptors start resisting because it's too much sugar to deal with. So if you're already moving towards insulin resistance because of the wrong diet, then added excess stress will push you down the road faster. Eating a healthy diet does not escape diabetes if you are under a lot of stress. If you don't have resistance yet, the mere existence of excessive stress alone can result in insulin resistance because it triggers the whole cycle as if you've eaten sugar. Acupuncture alone will not help if you are under severe stress or eating unhealthily. Meditation and homeopathy can help you deal with your stress. You may need a combination of complementary therapies. Stress in your pancreas. It's associated with a feeling of being trapped and resentment and loss of freedom. It's easy to see how you first-time mums can develop insulin resistance to stress. You put your career on hold, freedom and income to take care of your new baby. Your baby is telling you to look deep within and love yourself. Play a little, enjoy yourself, and befriend the small sweet child growing inside of you, and take care of both you and your baby. Environmental toxins. Common everyday chemicals in your environment put excessive stress on your endocrine system. Exposure tells your adrenal glands to get your liver to pump sugar out into your bloodstream the same way as nicotine or caffeine. So reversing insulin resistance. Insulin resistance symptoms can be reversed simply by changing your diet, doing regular exercise, and reducing stress. Experts tell us that insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes can almost be reversed with diet and exercise. Exercise. Brief periods of intense exercise burns glucose off and lowers insulin levels. It helps stabilize your autonomic nervous system. It tells the adrenal glands to stop releasing adrenaline, which triggers your liver to dump glycogen into your bloodstream. But exercise alone will not work because you'd have to exercise continually to burn off all the sugar if you continue to eat the refined carbohydrates. Exercise in combination with the removal of starchy carbohydrates enhances the reversal process. Exercise is necessary if you have a lot of stress in your life. Sleep, breathing, and meditation. Mindfulness and mindfulness meditations are simple and powerful ways to bring blood sugar down because they turn off your stress response system. So you need to reduce stress and get adequate sleep. Practice deep breathing exercises. Your respiratory system is the best tool you have to eliminate toxins. So if you take a deep breath in and you hold it for a short period and then you have a longer breath out, as you blow out, you're removing the toxins from your body. So you should practice meditation and breathing. And they all help you relax and live in the moment. So what are the tests for gestational diabetes? A HbA1c level at booking, a glucose challenge test at 24 weeks. If positive, a fasting glucose tolerance test. If positive, there'll be a referral to the diabetic team specialist who will plan care with you and your LMC. HbA1c. HbA1c is glycated hemoglobin. The HbA1c develops when hemoglobin, a protein in your red blood cells, joins with glucose in your blood and becomes what they call glycated HbA1c. Measuring your HbA1c gives an idea of what your average blood sugar levels have been over a period of weeks or months. The more sugar you have in your blood, the higher the percentage of glycated hemoglobin, HbA1c. The higher the HbA1c, the higher risk of developing diabetes-related complications. When your body processes sugar, glucose in the bloodstream naturally attaches to hemoglobin. The amount of glucose that combines with this protein is directly proportional to the total amount of sugar that's in your system at that time. Red blood cells in the human body survive for 8 to 12 weeks before renewal. And the HbA1c test would be done at 8 to 12 week intervals. And as you can see here, HbA1c is normal below 42. Pre-diabetes is 42 to 47, and diabetes is 48 or over. Your glucose challenge or polycose test. Only about a third of you women who test positive on the glucose screen actually have the condition. If you test positive on the screening, you'll need to take a fasting glucose tolerance test, a longer, more diagnostic test that tells you for sure whether you have gestational diabetes. And remember, increased stress is known to increase your blood glucose levels. So do not go for diabetic blood tests when you are stressed, as it raises your blood glucose levels. Make sure you have a healthy diet 1 to 2 weeks before doing the test. Your care should be individualized, and you as an informed woman should make the decisions about your care with the right to accept or decline any treatments. The medical treatment for gestational diabetes. If you have gestational diabetes, you'll be referred to the diabetic team or specialist team. You'd be advised dietary and lifestyle advice. They encourage you to monitor your glucose levels pre and post meals. If your blood sugar levels are still high, you may be prescribed an oral medication or metformin or insulin injections. The specialist may recommend induction of labour on or before your due date according to your individual situation and your blood glucose levels. Acupuncture may help you. Acupuncture regulates blood glucose levels in diabetics and improves the performance of metformin, an oral diabetes medication. When electroacupuncture is combined with metformin, it improves glucose lowering performance and the regulation of insulin secretion. In recent studies, researchers stated that a combination of electroacupuncture with insulin sensitizer may be a new treatment for type 2 diabetes, but this has not been researched in pregnancy. So you would need to speak to a Chinese medicine specialist before considering acupuncture. So finally, gestational diabetes and insulin resistance. Avoid getting it. Be wise, eat healthy foods, manage stress and exercise. Thank you.
Okay, I'm open to you all asking questions on that and to let me know what you feel about it.
Thank you so much, Irene. Okay, everybody, if you have any question, you can turn on your video, please. Yeah, let us see your beautiful face. And now it is doubt clearing session.
Yeah, I can't see Louise, Anita, or Koala.
Yes. Koala, Louise, Anita, we like to see your beautiful face, and please turn on your camera. Thank you. If you have any question, you can write. Yeah, thank you so much, Anita. Hi, nice to see you.
For Louise.
Very good. Thank you so much. Louise, Koala. We like to see you. Thank you, Louise. Thank you, Louise.
Good, great. I got the ceiling of Louise, yeah.
Okay. Turn on your camera. Zahra, لطفاً ویدیوتون روشن کنید. Thank you, Louise. Nice to see you. Wow, lovely.
Okay, so if you've got anything you want to talk to me about that way, just raise your questions or how you feel, or maybe how many participants that we got, a few of you. So we can go through all of you individually and I can try and answer them for you. So shall we start with Gail? Can we unmute Gail?
Unmute. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm unmuted. Well, I am not pregnant and I don't have to worry about gestational diabetes, but I got a lot of tips just for me at my age. So it's wonderful. I'm going to change some things. This is good because I love bread. But yeah, I thought it's excellent. Belize has 1/3 of its population where I live in Belize, Central America. 1/3 of its population has diabetes or pre-diabetes.
Yeah.
I need that video so that I can start running around to all my little clinics that I deal with and I can share it because they don't understand it. The problem is the people that are working in diabetic clinics don't have any medical background, really. They're being fed the information from doctors. And so the doctors are saying, well, just tell them to change their diet, tell them to come to me for tests, tell them that they're going to get bad feet and get their legs cut off. But they're not, the people that are actually running the clinic are basically like just people that care because they have a diabetic mother or they have a diabetic sister, but they don't have enough information to talk the language.
I think that's missing in our midwifery education, and what we're trying to do with Lily and you guys is that we're going to load all these prenatal education videos up onto our education platform, and women can actually, I mean, they maybe just pay a very small subscription or something, but they can watch the videos at home with their families on the TV, and then we're educating the whole wider community. Because I was never taught this in my midwifery training. You know, my midwifery training was very medical. It was like, you know, here you are, 24 weeks, here's your blood test. Let's pray it doesn't come back normal. You know, if it comes up normal, I just refer you. So this is not reducing the problems and the issues. And that's the way it's just been meant to be, because we're kind of run by the drug companies, you know, and we're very much controlled into the education we can give. So we're going to open that and change that, because we'll have more women having normal birth, and, you know, having more forums like this and talking to everyone, because I think, you know, the diet's a bit different in each side. So if you can be prenatal educators, you can show these videos, you can have discussions about diet according to the locality, you know, of women, and educate them more. We've got like, there's more on it, because we do like the nutrients in pregnancy. And one of the things that is on the nutrient one is a thing called nitric oxide. How many of you know about nitric oxide? Yeah, nitric oxide. If nitric oxide, it balances the blood flow between mother and the baby, because it dilates the blood vessels. Yeah. So what happens is if you're eating a lot of unhealthy fats, if you're stressed, it reduces your nitric oxide levels, and therefore it constricts the vessels. You know, so if you think of placental maternal blood flow, and then we get the IUGR babies, we get the preterm births, and just by having that knowledge, we can prevent these things. So like, if you're giving too much iron supplements, then if you have too little iron, you're prone to hemorrhage. Yeah, so it works the other way. Too little iron, well, you'll have increased nitric oxide levels. Okay, but if you give too much of it, you can decrease the nitric oxide levels and cause the issues of high blood pressure and things like that. So it's important to apply the physiology together and to look beyond what we have in front of us in our universities. You know, the information I got was looking outside. Some of this information I even got from physical exercise researchers and things like that. So we have to look beyond the midwifery box to find what we're looking for. So I kind of quite enjoyed gathering all this information and putting it together with my curiosity. So a lot of the work's done. The books will be split, on our Lily site, so that it will be part of the midwifery education program. So I'm pleased that you've all picked something up from this because I knew it was things that my women missed. And I had so many Indian ladies or ladies from, from Africa that were eating lots of rice, lots of breads, and the diabetes was very high, but I've managed to kick that down to lower it. So sharing this information, I hope that you can take it away with you and do something. Okay, so who's next on the thing? Let's have Louise. Put your microphone, Louise. Turn your microphone on.
Unmute.
That's it. I can now, yeah. Okay, so how did you feel?
Put me on the spot.
Ah.
Yeah, I love it, especially for me as like an upcoming future midwife, as a student. All this information just gives me confidence that I can go out and practice and share with women, educate women, and we're going to be creating like a partnership that's based on like trust, and it's based on respect, because I'm not judging the woman as I advise her about how to eat healthy. I'm not judging her her culture, because she might enjoy eating all those foods you talked about. It just gives me a way of me to confidentially like have a relationship with her where I can advise her to stay healthy and avoid diabetes in a way that is healthy for her and her baby and her family for the future long run as well. And my other question is, how can, because a woman will go home and we don't know what they do. We don't know what they put in their mouth and what they put in their food, despite the advice we give them. How can as a future educator, how can I make sure
at every prenatal visit, when a woman comes to me, I ask them, what do you eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and tea? It's a simple question. Yeah. What did you eat today? And often if my ladies come from India, they'll have some Indian tea with some sugar in it and a biscuit. So then you can start and use this knowledge and explain what's happening with their body. I think the key is when they understand their body and what's happening with it, they are happy to change what they do. Yeah. It's if you just turn around and say, well, you don't eat the sugar, don't eat this, it's bad for you, you need to walk like this. I think women sometimes can see that as a threat to their lifestyle, but if you actually explain what's happening with their body, they really think, oh, I can see this picture. You draw a little picture, show them the my plate, show them the diagram. A lot of my girls maybe eat like a salad sandwich, but there's no protein in it. So then I keep saying, well, your blood sugar levels are going to be out of balance without the protein, because the protein really balances those blood sugars. And that's the key, I think, is having that balance. And I also talk to them about mood swings, because you find women that really don't eat the healthy diets, their mood swings go up and down as well. So they can be quite bipolar. They can go like from heights of being really energized. That's when they first eat something, and then it will drop to rock bottom, and that's where they go depressed. So if blood sugars go up, you get high, they get like fallen hyper, and then it suddenly burns off and crashes, and then they can get depression. So I think that when we talk to them about their body and how it works, we get the messages through.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. What about Anita? Hi.
Hi. Okay. I think this is I'm sorry, my English is not too good, but I will try to say something about diabetes in my country. This is an interesting topic, but in my country, there's actually not enough case of diabetes in pregnancy. I'm a midwife and I'm an educator, but because in this country, glucose test is not routine test that is recommended during pregnancy. So sometimes we think that this is not important, but there is case macrosomy like or other impact from diabetes happen in delivery. I think the regulation during pregnancy to prevent diabetes is very important to do. But in midwifery curriculum, we don't have enough to teach to the student. So sometimes we difficult to try to educate our patient about the diet regulation. I hope in this workshop you can share how you can educate the patient in that.
I think, you know, one of the things you can do is if you work with Lily, we can maybe translate the slides. I have the slides in Chinese, okay? So it's very easy to translate them for you to be able to have them available in your own local language, yeah? So that means you need to get a team together and also look at the foods, because you can put your cultural foods on there, yeah? Your healthy ones, and do it that way. The other thing I find is that, you know, I can see someone who's starting to develop diabetes just by looking at them, yeah? Because their face becomes shiny, their skin, their abdomen is really shiny, okay? So you can see that look and that little rounded look on their face, and it's just very shiny on the forehead, the face. It's like a shiny apple. It starts to get like a shiny apple. And that's one of the signs, especially with if their feet swell, you know, and, you know, if the blood pressure and everything's fine, you know that these swelling feet and the changes in her face is due to her diet, okay? So you need to open your eyes, and, you know, when you do continuity of care and you see the same woman each time, you can see those changes. And I think Louise will be doing that in New Zealand, okay? So, you know, instead of, you know, I see midwives and they're jotting all the things down on the computer and passing this out, and they don't even look at the woman. They don't notice these things about her. You could notice a protein deficiency just by looking. She'll have flaky skin on her face, you know, or the lines on her nails. So, you know, it's like bringing back these clinical skills that we've lost through academia, you know, that we need to bring back onto the shop floor. And hopefully out of these courses that I'm doing with Lily, I've just got a new post as head of Midwifery Council with the Wakatamanga Maori government, and we're setting up that new midwifery education there and bringing back traditional midwifery with those clinical skills into the forefront. So, you know, we can all work together. And the beautiful thing about doing this is that we come from different parts of the planet with different cultures. So, you know, you can be educating me with what it's like in your country. So I learn all the time when I speak to all of you, okay? So that's something that we can arrange with Lily to make it possible in your country, yeah, with you. If you get a group together, we can do that very easily, because the work's there. It just needs a bit of translation. And it's easy to do the PowerPoints on MP4 with PowerPoint. Yeah. We've got this technology. It doesn't cost much to do it. We just need platforms. And hopefully we're going to be a great team, and that we're all going to see you on board as supporting this as you, Anita, being lectures in your country, and we as teams are able to support you, and help the development and it growing. For me, it's putting midwifery where it should be. Okay. Is it
Yes, we are with you. We are with full of expertise in midwifery and OB/GYN from Lily Excellence Center. We will be with you. Try to keep in touch, and we have another upcoming online courses tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and for our advanced midwifery course for 21st to 23rd December. We have another free aquanatal workshop for 8th December, and we keep in touch with you. We will provide you any training you need. Even if you want some clinical, practical midwifery training, we have a clinical internship in Georgia and in India. So you can improve your clinical skills with us, and always we can be together for different parts of the world. It's very fantastic. I didn't understand Anita is from China. Irene got it very fast. But Irene, are you agree to ask all of attendees to introduce themselves? We know that from which part of the world they are here. Are you agree?
Yes. I think we
let's go. If you can ask them to introduce themselves, please.
Yeah, we can put it on the chat. So so we've got, is it Chris Borg? Chris Borg? How do I pronounce your name, Chris Borg? You have to say it to me. I can't pronounce it. Can you hear me? Can you put your, that's it. Hi. How do I pronounce your name, darling?
My name is Kristbjörg and I'm from Iceland.
From Iceland, wow.
And it's very interesting to listen because we have had like triple incidents of gestational diabetes in the last 10 to 15 years.
Yes.
And it's the midwives that do most of the teaching for the women during pregnancy with gestational diabetes. But it's also always good to have something new to teach. And I really like the videos for the women. I think it could help them understand better and have a deeper understanding of what the gestational diabetes is and how it works and what they need to do to keep their blood sugar levels low.
Absolutely. And I think again that, and this is what it is. It's like it's missing in midwifery education. We're not trained in those things, and it needs to come back. And the women are not trained, and unfortunately, women are not taught in schools how to self-care or diet. So a woman will come to the midwife, and then we have only got the 9 months of pregnancy, less than that, 8 months, less than 8 months to educate these women when a lot of the damage is already done. So midwives have to do an amazing job to fix a lot of damage that's already there, but it's possible. I've turned it around so many times, in women. So we can all work together, I hope, and make this global and make a real difference around the world. So who have we got? Gail, you want to say something?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I just want to say, when you were talking about midwives, I noticed myself up until I was 40, I was 120 pounds max. I became a midwife when I was 40. I got into stress, unusual hours, working on call 24/7, 365 days of the year because I was a home birth midwife. And I noticed with all my fellow midwives that all of us started gaining weight, and we kind of figured it out. It was too many middle of the night pizzas because we were starving to death.
Yes.
Too many eating and snacking during the labors of carbohydrate stuff given to us by the parents to feed the midwives. And now we understand, but everybody used to say, wait a minute, we're all gaining weight here, and yet we think we're working hard, we think we're eating right when we're conscious of it, but it was the subconscious eating in the middle of the night and the stress factors that led us all to gain weight.
I was the same. I went up to like 84 kgs, eating toast, snacking, people buying you cakes, when we grow up as kids, you only had your cake on a Sunday. Grandmother we used to sit in the kitchen and we used to make the cakes on Saturday. And Sunday everyone would come and we would all eat some cake with our dinner, but we didn't have cake every day of the week. And now we're dealing with pregnant women or having baby showers, and they're all eating all these sweet goodies and everybody's baking this wonderful cake. So I just teach women, if you're having a baby shower, get them to bring you healthy foods for the day. Do your carrot snacks and your hummus and things like that. We have to change this thinking of that all these sweet things are going to help us, because we do it, and especially when you're stressed. So what do? Students, what do you do when you're stressed? You're chomping at chocolate and candy bars and things like that to boost this energy, but it doesn't help. It just makes you more sick.
Well, I just think us midwives, as they say, need, like you're saying, need to be paying attention, because otherwise we are all going to end up being old fat midwives. And who wants to be an old fat midwife?
And the thing is as well is like because we're not trained in that, midwives neglect themselves. I look after lots of midwives homeopathically and holistically, and the midwives don't know anything about their own body, and I'm saying, well, how can you teach women if you don't know anything about your own body?
You're right.
It's like we've got this cycle of it, just of ill health, of poor maintenance, and we have to turn all that around. So I can't talk with everybody tonight, but if you've got some chats or questions, you can just type them in the chat, and I can get through that. We've got another video. Well, actually, how many more videos have you got there for tonight? 1 or 2, Layla? You got 2 more? Okay, 1 more. Okay, so Layla's going to play 1 video, and then they're only very short ones, and then there's another one that I'll play from here. And this is like how we teach the women about monitoring their movements, and also like how the midwife assesses, but she actually communicates with the woman and identifies the issues. So Layla, can you put the next one on, darling? Lily? Is she there? We've lost her. Whoops, now I've lost all of you.
Nope, I can see you.
You can see me. I don't know what's happened to my video.
Which video you want to share now? Which one? Which part?
Put the I'll put you all back. You've got 1 more left, haven't you? On the there should be a monitoring growth, and one should be
monitoring. Yes. Okay, monitoring growth. Yeah.
So you've got monitoring growth. So we'll do that one, and then I've got 1 more on the movements. Okay.
Monitoring growth.
Yeah. So you show the monitoring growth, and then we'll clip onto my share, and I'll put the other one on. Okay. It just takes a little while to load, so we have to be a bit patient. Okay, it's coming. Okay. Monitoring baby's growth during pregnancy. All pregnant women are concerned about baby's growth and well-being. Here you will learn about finding baby's position, monitoring baby's growth, what to expect at your prenatal visit, calculating your due date. This is only an estimate date. The normal length of pregnancy is 40 to 42 weeks. To calculate the due date, take the first day of your last menstrual period, add 9 months and 7 days.
A baby born at 37 to 38 weeks isn't early any more than one born at 42 weeks is late. Chickens lay their eggs on the same day, and the eggs hatch at different times. There's no 100% way of knowing when your baby is going to arrive. In ancient times, women calculated their due date by looking at the moon. They would count the cycles of the moon. Once 10 periods passed by and the moon passed through 10 phases, the woman knew her baby would be born soon. Bedouin women would count 10 moons and 10 days, which comes to 41.3 weeks. She would take note of what phase the moon was in. Research tells us that your estimated due date should be closer to 41 weeks and 5 days. Women knew long before obstetric calendars when babies normally come. It's important that you don't get fixed on your due date. Eat a healthy diet. Produce a healthy baby that's proportionate in size to you, and your baby will arrive when both you and your baby are ready. Connect with your baby. Get to know baby's movements. And attend your prenatal clinics. If you are unsure about your last menstrual period date, a dating ultrasound is performed, and the most accurate time is between 11.5 and 12.5 weeks. It's important to understand your due date when monitoring your baby's growth. It's important to know your estimated due date if you have complications such as preterm birth, or your pregnancy needs to be induced for medical reasons. If we have an estimated due date, we can estimate the weeks by measuring the growth of your uterus, and we can tell if your baby is not growing. The midwives use abdominal palpation, where they feel your tummy to measure your fundal height. The fundal height is measured in centimeters from the pubic symphysis to the topmost part of your uterus, and it should measure according to your estimated due date. In the olden days, we used to use the finger method for measuring the fundal height. Your baby would be around 20 to 22 weeks at the level of the umbilicus. So your uterus measures a finger above the umbilicus by 24 centimeters by tape measure at 24 weeks. Measuring fundal height with fingers is not reliable, as some women have long waistlines and some women have shorter waistlines. And finger measurements can be a couple of weeks out. It's more accurate if the measurements are taken by the same person. Book your appointments to see your LMC. A customized growth chart is used to check your baby has normal growth. A customized growth chart is based upon your BMI, ethnicity, the weight of your previous baby in previous pregnancies. Fundal height measurements of your uterus are plotted against the weeks of your pregnancy. The plots come between 3 centiles. The upper centile is the 90th, the middle is the 50th, and the lower centile is the 10th. So babies should be growing between the 10th and the 90th centile. You can see the normal growth here. So above the 3-line range indicates a large baby. This would indicate the midwife to talk to you about your diet and maybe refer you for a diabetes screen. Below the 3-line range indicates a small growth restricted baby, a small growth restricted baby. You can see that the growth of this baby has tailed off. In this case, the midwife would refer you to an obstetrician and would make a plan of care with you, deciding your future tests and investigations and ultrasounds. So there are some things that influence the fundal height of your uterus. You need to make sure you have an empty bladder before your check. It can be the number of babies you've birthed before, the size of your baby, if you have a full bladder, the light of your baby, the number of babies you are carrying, single pregnancy or twins. Babies usually find their position by 30 to 32 weeks. Your midwife will feel your tummy and measure the height of your uterus with your permission. You can tell your baby's position by where you feel your baby's kicks. Your midwife will be able to feel your baby's position well after 32 weeks. Checking baby's position before that time doesn't give us any benefits. The midwife will document your baby as lying posterior or anterior positions. When she writes LOA or LOP, she's looking for the occiput. So, if your baby's limbs are felt on the right, your baby's back is on the left. If your midwife feels the baby's limbs are on the left, then your baby's back is on the right. And if the occiput is at the front, then your baby will be either left or right, occipital anterior. So if the baby kicks on the right, the back is on the left, the baby is LOA. If the baby kicks on the left, the baby is ROA. If the baby's kicks are on front of the tummy, the baby is posterior. If your baby's in a posterior position, the midwife may recommend optimal positioning for your baby. And you can check this in the preparing for birth section. If the kicks are lower down in your pelvis, then your baby is breech. The midwife will check the shape of your abdomen or tummy. Don't be afraid to ask any questions. The bulging side will be your baby's limbs. The flatter side will be your baby's back. If your baby is in posterior position, both sides of your tummy will be flat and your baby's limbs will be felt down the center. So feeling your tummy can indicate the size and lie of your baby. Tell your midwife where you feel your baby's kicks and it will give her a clue about your baby's position. As we said before, kicks low down may indicate a breech baby. If your baby kicks on the right, we know the baby's back is on the left side. Inspecting your tummy or abdomen tells your midwife a lot about you and your baby. Your midwife will look at your skin texture. You may have hormonal rashes and she will advise you how to manage them. You may have stretch marks and she may advise you about the diet. Your midwife will reassure you about the things that are well, and she will advise you about things that don't appear to be well. She will notice your baby's movements. It's important that your midwife knows how and when your baby moves. It's important for you to connect with your baby. So if you can't tell your midwife about your baby's movement, she'll show you ways to connect with your baby. The midwife will note any obvious scars and ask you about your history and tell her if you've had any previous surgery. If your skin is dry, she'll recommend a diet with oils and nutrients. You might need to up your water and nutrient intake. If you have stretch marks, you may need to increase the zinc and protein content in your diet. Zinc is important for the elasticity and stretching of your skin. And you can avoid stretch marks with a good healthy diet of protein, zinc, magnesium, and foods that improve your collagen. If you don't have much abdominal or tummy muscle, you will need to increase your protein intake and build up your muscle. A midwife can tell if you don't have good muscles because she will easily be able to feel your baby through the thin and often flabby skin. You need good tummy muscles to get effective contractions when you go into labour. The position of your baby. Your midwife will feel the top of your uterus to feel your baby's head or bottom. If your baby's breached the head at the top, you might feel some discomfort due to pressure from the hard, round head of your baby. This might cause you lots of indigestion or discomfort because the baby's head presses up against your rib cage. A baby's head is much more rounded and feels harder than the soft bottom. If you feel any of the symptoms, let your midwife know. If your baby is breached, your midwife will tell you the things you can do to change baby's position. Change your diet, avoid fast and refined foods, especially sugars. Avoid too many fruits, strawberries, watermelon and oranges. Change your posture and use a Pilates ball, hands and knees exercises. And emotional, think head down meditation. And you can refer to the turning a breech baby section. Your midwife will feel the sides of your uterus. Feeling the sides of your uterus or tummy gives an insight into the size of your baby, the tone of your uterus, fluid that surrounds your baby, and baby movements. She will notice if you have any unusual tenderness on your tummy or abdomen. Your midwife will note the amount of fluid around your baby. If you have too much fluid around your baby, she will ask you about your diet and maybe screen you for diabetes. The most common cause of too much fluid is a poor diet with too many carbohydrates and unhealthy fats. If your diet is unhealthy, you will need to make changes and reduce the carbohydrates. If you have too much fluid, you will be unable to lie flat. Your tummy will feel very tight, and you may have difficulty breathing. If you have too much fluid, your midwife may order an ultrasound to check your baby to see if there are no other issues and refer you to an obstetrician. A skilled midwife is better than any machine. An experienced midwife will pick up problems very quickly through her observation and clinical skills. If she orders an ultrasound, it is only usually confirms what she already knows. And that's why it's important for you to attend your prenatal visits and get a regular checkups. Your midwife will feel down the sides of your tummy to your pelvis to identify whether your baby's head or bottom is presenting first. It can determine whether your baby's head is flexed or extended. Your baby's head needs to be in a flexed position for an optimal birth position. And she will determine if your baby's presenting part is engaged in your pelvis or not. So when your midwife checks if your baby's head or bottom is mobile, she will say ballotable, or she'll tell you if it's engaging. It may help if you take a deep breath in and blow out whilst your midwife's doing that. One hand is placed on either side of your baby's presentation and slight pressure is applied so that your baby's presentation can be felt. It's measured in fifths, engaged or palpable. Felt above the pelvis, she would write 5p, or below the pelvis, 5 down, or 5e, engaged into the pelvis. So measuring engagement abdominally to your baby's head is divided into fifths. And it is measured in fifths palpable. That's fifths of baby's head felt above your pelvis. Measuring descent vaginally. If your midwife, with your permission, performs a vaginal examination, she will assess the descent of your baby's head through the pelvis. It's measured in its relationship to the ischial spines. She will document it as being -1, -2, or -3 centimeters above the spines, or +1, +2, or +3 centimeters below the spines. She will tell you how far down or up your baby's head is in your pelvis. It's important to do this before performing an assisted delivery, to decide whether to use forceps or ventouse suction or perform a C-section. Your baby usually starts to engage into the pelvis from about 36 weeks in a first baby, a bit later for a second baby. Sometimes they don't engage into the pelvis until a few days before labour starts. The timing of when your baby's head engages or descends into the pelvis does not indicate your labour will happen. Babies have a mind of their own, and if they're not ready to birth, they won't. And your body has to go through a ripening process, so that your cervix has to ripen, and that takes time. There are some factors that can affect baby's head engaging into the pelvis. Your baby is in a posterior position, his back to your back. It may be harder for him or her to engage. Your baby has lots of room to move. He or she is less likely to engage. The shape of your pelvis or position of the placenta. If you're expecting a big baby, it's more likely that your baby's head will start to engage when the contractions begin. Eat healthily and exercise. Grow a baby that's proportionate in size to you. Locating light and presentation of your baby shows the midwife where to place the stethoscope or Doppler to listen to your baby's heartbeat. If it's R away, the approximate points the baby's head sounds are shown on the image. Posterior, left posterior, direct posterior, left anterior. Listening to baby's heart rate tells your midwife if everything sounds normal. The fetal heart rate is assessed for its presence, its rate, and its regularity. A normal heart rate is between 110 and 150 beats a minute. If it doesn't sound normal, your midwife may order monitoring or a scan to confirm her findings. A healthy heartbeat sounds like a galloping horse, not too fast and not too slow. Stress and anxiety can increase or lower your baby's heart rate. With good listening ears, your skilled midwife can tell where your placenta is lying because she will hear a whooshing sound of the placental blood flow. She will only be too happy to explain everything to you. It's great to hear baby's heartbeat. The way it beats, how fast or slow it beats, tells your midwife if everything is okay or not. But it's better you learn this before you take your own baby's heartbeat, because it will save you a lot of anxiety. Abdominal examinations are performed during labour. Abdominal examinations are done to assess how your labour is progressing and to help make decisions regarding your care during labour. There's usually no need to perform a vaginal examination in normal labour because examining your tummy tells baby's position and descent. Thank you.
Okay, are we back?
So much. Thank you.
Okay, any question? Anybody want to ask me anything on this? Okay, Gail, go ahead.
I would just like to say that it was very, very clear for a woman to understand this, because I get so many times when I hear when women here in Belize go up to their midwife in the hospital that they're not told anything about the baby's lie, the baby's position, what they're even doing to her. It's just amazing to me. One lady was told that her uterus was too hard, and she came home all worried, and she called me, and I said, "What do you mean it was hard?" She says, "I don't know." She just shook her head and said her baby's hard. So I called the midwife in the hospital, and here's what happened. The lady had a contraction while she was palpating the uterus, and she just said, your uterus is hard. And then she went about her business. But the woman went home terrified, because the only verbal statement the midwife made was, your uterus is hard. So communication skills, and this, with your videos and your clear understanding of the situation, then educating the women will help them relax and reduce stress. And they'll understand it. But when a midwife unknowingly makes a ridiculous statement, she wasn't saying there was anything bad. The woman went home terrified. And she called me because she doesn't want to upset the midwife because they may get mad at her.
Yeah, and I always found that when women come to the clinic, sometimes they're either a little bit anxious, but like the body behaves like, if you think of I don't know, if you've got like a turtle and you put your fingers to its mouth, it'll just clamp down. Yeah. Well, what I usually find before you palpate is that as soon as I touch that uterus, it contracts. It's like protecting the baby. So I always tell women I have to wait a little while. So you just warm your hands and gently just place them on the top of the abdomen and tell her it's what your baby, your tummy's going to contract and then it's going to relax again. And that's the time to start feeling the baby. Now, I only learned that, again, it's these observational skills, it's these connectedness skills. I see so many women walk into a clinic, the midwives, they're just going to feel your baby, I'm like, well, hello, how can you get a proper palpation if you don't understand how the body works, how this, this woman needs to be relaxed, how you just need to gently put your healing hands on top and just wait for baby to get used to your hands and talk to the woman, because then she'll relax and then you can feel the baby much better. The other thing is, like when I talk about the fluid, we older midwives were taught how to check the fluid with a flick of the fingers. Has anybody done that? Yeah. So you put your hand on one side of on the side of the uterus, and just gently, and then from the other side. So like you put it where the back is, gently, like a little curve, and then you just flick across, and you'll feel that ripple, like a little wave that'll hit your hand. Okay. So if you get a big wave crashing against your hand, she's got a lot of fluid. And the way I taught it in China was to blow a balloon up, fill it with water, and put the balloon just down there, and you flick across, and you actually feel the ripple across your hand. So it's the way of seeing if the woman's got fluid around her baby. It's the old-fashioned way of doing it. That midwives are not taught that today.
They're not taught a lot of things today, my darling.
No.
They're taught medical stuff. But you know, doctors don't know these skills. I know 90% of my OBs that are my friends do not know how to palpate a baby anymore. They just grab that ultrasound and they just do an ultrasound every single appointment. And of course, I don't like a lot of ultrasounds, right? And so they don't, but they have lost the skill, not because they're not educated or not because they're not nice people. It's because they don't know how to do it anymore, because they don't practice it.
Yes, and the 5-minute visits in the doctor's office as well doesn't help, does it? And you know, when I was in China, I did lots of clinical skills with the obstetricians and the midwives in their clinics. So we went into the obstetric clinic, you know, we took a doll and pelvis in there with us, and we had the obstetricians palpating, you know, and they were loving it, and we were getting them to get the husband or the partner to come and say, look, feel your baby, feel where your baby's in, you can do this, you can feel the descent of your own baby, you know, you don't need me to tell you where your baby's head is, you can come to the clinic and tell me where it is, because when they watch this video they know how to do it, right? So like the women,
yeah, we can teach a husband to do it. We can teach a husband to feel his baby and tell the position of the baby. We can even teach the woman herself by just having her put her hand. But doctors don't know how to do it.
No, they don't. And that was very evident when I went around China, because I think, you know, we never usually spend much time in an obstetrician's office or his clinic, you know, and in China, I got to see the whole thing. You know, and we actually gave them we examined them on palpating the baby, you know, they had to do an examination, a full check. So the doctors got grilled, we did a check, and you know, not one doctor washed their hands. Only the midwives washed their hands. It was like, you know, we had to teach them hand washing. I mean, I failed the obstetricians for not washing their hands. It was just like so funny, you know. Yeah. So observational skills again. That shiny tummy tells you there's fluid around the baby. The stretch marks tells you her diet's not good enough. Yeah. When a woman comes to your clinic, look at her posture. You don't want, if one arm, shoulders lower than the out, okay? So that's going to tell you that this baby ain't going to go straight into the pelvis. Maybe she needs a chiropractic adjustment, yeah, before that baby comes. So again, it's all these observational skills and that connectedness and involving the partner and teaching the woman about her body.
Yeah, yes, but you remember 300 years ago when women learned all of these skills about proper eating and herbs and good diet and palpating, they were called witches.
Yeah.
And they were burned at the stake.
Absolutely. Well, they call me the White Witch of the West.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Good. I'm glad.
Is anyone else want to raise their hands? Because I've got lots of names here. I can't see faces, but there's a little thing you can, if you want to just raise your hand, let us know if you want to chat. Go into the reactions at the bottom of the thing and just put a hand up if you want to speak. I think a lot of people are watching, but is everybody shy out there? Does anyone want to ask? Okay. Someone's connecting.
And from them.
Yeah, somebody's connecting.
Let them introduce themselves and from where they are, because tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, we have our next class. And we have to know them. We want to ask questions in this class. Then we will provide you certificate for 3 days training. If you've been more active in the class, we will give you this certificate. Please try to be more active in this class. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you've got to remember that this platform is like, you know, when I was in China and I would have all the midwives used to sit in and they used to come in. But I used to find that obstetrics was very dominant. So the midwives wouldn't ask the obstetricians questions. Yeah, so they were all very shy. And there's also like a thing in China called losing face. So they're afraid of getting the questions wrong. So I had to build a whole trusting relationship up with all the midwives to say anything you say on this platform and any debate or any question, everything's valid, you know, because we're all here to learn from each other. So be open and ask your questions and never be afraid, because we're all here as friends and colleagues to support each other.
You to exercise and practice your self-confidence, because you have to present yourself for mothers and their family, and you have to know how to present your skills in front of your colleagues. So we want an influensive midwife. Try to practice from here. If you are a nurse, if you are a midwife, if you are a doctor, here is the best place for you to practice. Please don't hesitate to ask your question. Louise, over to you, please. Yeah, please.
Oh my God. For me, one of my first questions was from when rewinding back to the customer's growth chart video. Like it was an experience. I just had a birth recently because I'm currently on placement as well. And this woman, I didn't have enough time to build a relationship. I met her actually at the birth. So that was beautiful for them to welcome me into their moment.
Yeah.
So, and I was reading the notes, and it was saying that this baby, because she was an induced, and then the rationale for the induction was because she was potentially carrying a small for gestational baby, and the baby was measuring at the 12th centile. And so I got very curious. And then when the baby was born, it was a very normal sized baby, and the baby healthy.
Okay, let me go through like the growth charts are great. So like if you've got a customized growth chart and she's European, for example, it's quite standard. But if you've got a customized growth chart and it says she's Indian, well, the Indian women's statures differ. If they're North Indian, they're like from Pakistan and they've got bigger frames. So often these babies will look above those centiles. And like I've got another lady that's from southern India who's very slim and very tiny and petite. And her baby's showing lower than the 10th centile. Okay, so you've got to have this whole picture and understand that. So if she's coming below that, but yet she's growing in that nice thing, you know, that's okay for her. But what these growth charts do, and that's why you need to have training into how to understand them and look at the big picture, because they can lead to too many interventions. Okay, they can lead to that. I mean, you know, for me, I can see a woman, I can measure a uterine height. I'm seeing that woman all the time, so I can see that difference. I often pick up a small baby or a huge baby. You just know it with the woman and what's proportionate in size to her. But a lot of these doctors don't see the same woman all the time. So they're reliant on these charts, but they don't see the bigger picture. That's the problem. We're missing the bigger picture. So like, you know, it's like, that's what we need to understand and bring that more up into our research and say, well, look, let's look at these charts. Nobody's measuring how many babies they're inducing for small for dates or comparing all their charts together to see if there's a fault with them. You know, it's like, our medical profession has got this very narrow tunnel. Midwives usually, if you're not in the realms of a medically managed or obstetric nurse, like the midwives who are doing like what Gail does, you know, the traditional midwives, their heads are way out here. You know, with their thinking, the way you put things together. But that just depends how spiritual and grounded you are yourself. You know, I find a lot of my midwives are not spiritual, they're not connected, and they're not grounded. But that's come from like, doctor, tell me what to do. If you don't do it this way, you're doing it wrong. Yeah, this is what's grown up in our culture, and we've got midwives fighting midwives, and doctors, you know, trying to pinpoint faults all the time. This is our corporate systems that have taken our healthcare, where there's no trust, there's bullying, there's no bigger picture. You just obey, you know, and this is what we need to come away from as midwives. You know, we really need to stand our ground, and the future is going to change. I think it's going to change in the next, you know, few years globally, because we'll get away. We've got too much of the medical model, yeah, and too much interference, and a good midwife can prevent that interference, prevent that medical model. You know, we talked about diabetes. Well, you know, I give women choice, you know, when I tell them it's in the polycose drink and it's high sugar levels, and, you know, there's no actual real cutoff danger zone for blood sugar levels. Yeah. You know, at one stage it was 7.2, and then suddenly now it's 8 point something, isn't it now? 8.2 or something like that. What's the cutoff now? They keep hiring it because you get more and more women with diabetes. Now, when I go back 20, 30 years ago, I was working in the Middle East, and women had blood sugar levels at 13, and they didn't do anything, and the babies were still fine. You know, so why are we doing all this? And you know, my question is, well, what is the cutoff? What is the dangerous level? You know, you know, I think that women in India would usually have a higher baseline because of their diet and the genetics in that. Not necessarily be diabetes if it's above that. You see, they're not looking at the bigger picture. And this is something that research needs to look into, to look at that bigger picture. And especially, you know, the culture and the diet. You know, does anybody rang India up and says, well, excuse me, what are your normal blood sugar levels compared to ours? You know, we need to compare. Okay.
Yeah. I think the main secret, Irene, is continuity of care. Like
Absolutely.
You said, the same midwife needs to feel, the same midwife needs to measure, because we all, when you're measuring in centimeters and millimeters and all that stuff, it's even doing a vaginal exam. My 4 centimeters might not be your 4 centimeters. I mean,
yeah.
And when you get lack of continuity of care, you can't assess the progress or the whatever. And then when in hospitals, they change shifts. And so
That's
I
right.
say the lady's 4 centimeter, and the next midwife comes in and says, oh no, she's 6. Well, I don't think she changed in 10 minutes.
Or I've been called at night, and you know, oh, she's about to have a baby, and you get there and she's 1 centimeter because they can't.
I've had that too. Yes. One lady was I went to her house, and the other midwife said, Gail, this baby's not coming, and she's been pushing for an hour, and she's complete. And I went in there and I said, oh, can I check? And she was 1 centimeter. I don't know what the heck I was feeling.
When we go into labor and birth, what you know, we will go under, because I you know, the midwives, they don't understand that process. They're only working in the hospital for a few hours. I didn't understand the process until I did continuity of care. When you see those contractions stop and start and how they set up, they come up quickly, then you get the bigger ones and the little ones, and they might die off for 4 hours and then come back again. So they don't know what labor is and what labor isn't, what isn't labor, you know, and this is the problem that we have. And then we get misdiagnosis. We go, oh, this labor's slow. So then we get the oxytocin, and then we get the baby stuck because she's not really in labor. And then we get the C-sections, and time again, we get these same repetitive things coming through because those clinical skills are not there. And the reason I don't like to do vaginal examinations in labor and birth unless there's a real medical problem is that I remember being a student nurse, and I went in and did a vaginal examination, and like I got this woman at like 4 centimeters, no 8, no sorry, she was 8, and the obstetrician come in and says she's only 4. on a minute, you know, like, you know, I was pretty confident in what I was doing, and he said 4. So then I thought, right, I'm going to think about this. So with permission, some of the women that had a few babies, I said, look, I need to know what happens with the cervix. So do you mind if I just keep my fingers just slowly in here to see what your cervix does over a few contractions? I don't want to take it out because I just want to see what this cervix does. And to my surprise, this cervix went from almost fully to 8 to 4 to 3 to 6 to fully. That's what the cervix does. Okay, so there's no point in going in and doing a one-off vaginal examination and saying she's 4 centimeters and she's not going anywhere, because that's why when you turn your head, the baby arrives on the bed. You know, it's like, it can't be. She was only 4 centimeters and now the baby's arrived. You know, you need to understand birth. You need to watch the woman. You need to understand the hormones. You need to, you know, it's like a dance. It's like a story. And you know, as you come into these classes, you know, you're going to see all these videos that we teach the women, that actually teaches the midwives too, about what birth is and how it works and how to manage it, and you know, the real physiology as we should be teaching it. Okay, so yeah, I think you agree with me, don't you, Gail? You agree with all this?
Yeah, I do. But you know, one thing that I would like to do now, I know this is a little invasive, but you know, you can get these little bitty thin wires with a light bulb on the end. Yeah. I would like to insert one into a woman's vagina, not open it with a speculum, just insert a little wire with the camera on it and a light bulb, and just let's watch the cervix and see what it does.
Well, you know,
that would make a great movie. That would make a great movie for us midwives, because we'd see what you're saying. We'd see that.
I think we need, just for like some research to be able to get an actual video of it. Now,
yes, that would be easy to do if you could get like a multip that's open and the little wire wouldn't hurt her. And we could say, can we leave this in for an hour and just see your cervix doing this, you know, on a screen? It would be fabulous picture.
Well, one of the what I kind of learned before was, like, when I was looking after these women and all these things were happening, at least I got a little bit bolshy with the obstetricians, you know, when you come as, you know, you're not going in there again. So our obstetricians actually got to trust what we were saying, you know, and also it's like the positioning of the baby. I mean, you know, I'm going to talk to this Maori family I went to see postnatally, and I understand the Maori and the culture, and, you know, the young girl was just 20 having her baby, and, you know, the grandmother was in there and they were doing Maori massage and they wanted to do these things, but the obstetrician and the nurse had the woman pushed it on the bed. You know, the baby's heartbeat dipped as it does towards the end. Before babies come, the heartbeat will do a nosedive to about 60, and it can last for a minute and a half, because the baby loses that oxygen. But it's there in the hospital where these midwives panic.
Yep.
And the bottom line is they're afraid of birth. No matter how many years they've practiced, they are still afraid of birth. And this is something that we have to remove, because it's damaging to the woman. That family was so upset. I mean, like, when a woman has her baby, it's supposed to be a memory that she carries with her for the rest of her life. And she's going to remember this obstetrician running in the room and the midwife forcing her onto bed and telling her mother not to massage her or move her around. You know, what are we doing to women? Yeah, that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Okay. Has anybody out there got any questions?
I guess we have to ask questions randomly. Randomly, we can ask one question from them. From Sarah, Hamida, or Nivitlita, Eliana, Zahra, Khawla, Mariam, Chrisberg, Jen, Parveen.
What about Mariam? Because I can see Mariam.
Let's go.
Mariam.
Sure. Please turn on your video.
Do you want to
dear
ask
all.
me something?
Yeah, please, or share your experience. We like to hear from you all, please. Please turn on your cameras, dear all. Please. Bye, Keith, Bikis, Eliana, Jen, Howla.
That's better.
Wow.
We can't see you.
Oh,
All these
yeah.
beautiful midwives.
Yeah, midwife, nurse, whoever is here. We are so happy to see your beautiful face. Please turn on your cameras. We want to see you another 2 days. So we want to be more with you guys. Please turn on your cameras. We want to see you. Okay, Sarah, you want to ask question, please. You have to ask question actually, or you can share your experience. Please introduce yourself and please let us know from where you are joining us, Sarah. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, she's gone off.
Yeah,
We've lost Sarah.
Yeah, connected
She's
again.
coming back now. Okay, where's Sarah?
Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yeah, Sarah, you're audible. Yeah, please.
Where's your video? Your video's gone.
We saw your beautiful face.
Beautiful face. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Thank you.
Put your microphone on. Your mic. You need to unmute your microphone.
Yeah, we are getting access to you, but I guess by mistake you mute it again yourself.
Yeah, she's muted. Put the microphone on. She's frozen. That's it.
Yeah, wait, let me unmute you. Yeah.
Has she got it?
Hello.
We can't hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah,
No, can't hear you. We need your unmute yourself. Turn your microphone on.
Okay. It's on already.
Yeah, we can hear you, lovely.
Oh, you can hear you
lovely
now.
voice,
That's okay.
yes.
Right.
I'm Sarah. I'm a midwife from Tunisia. I'm Tunisian midwife.
Wow.
Actually, I'm working in Saudi Arabia.
Very good.
Good.
And,
Which part?
yeah.
Which part of Saudi Arabia?
It's in Riyadh.
In Riyadh.
Yeah.
I was in Riyadh 30 years ago.
Wow. Oh my God. Which hospital you were?
The Security Forces Hospital on Satine Street. We opened that hospital.
Yeah, we know about it, that it's opened by an Arabic midwife. Also, I had experience with another nationality midwife. I was working in Kingdom Hospital, and they empower the midwife. And our doctors was all the consultant doctors. They appreciate the midwives, and they said, "I can't believe on midwives."
Yes.
As my experience, we had one time we had one patient. She's almost she's fully dilated and she's zero station. And the doctor here, we have two doctors, and the first one, she said, "This one she cannot deliver normal delivery. Just we apply Vondel's delivery."
Yeah, I know.
Then I'm standing beside her, and the other doctor, he's a big consultant. He looked to me, he said to me, "Sarah, what do you think?" You know what I told him? I told him maybe she want to go home. She's in hurry. But this baby is not in hurry. He's waiting for the best time to go home. Then I told her, "Doctor, please, if you want to go home, I told you this baby will take 2 hours. You can go home and she's fully, you can do whatever you want, and you will come back and you deliver this baby normal delivery without any intervention, without any trauma, and without anything. Just," she told me, "I will believe on you." Then we turn the patient left lateral position. I try to talk to the patient, empower her, encourage her, then reposition many times. Then exactly after 2 hours,
yeah,
when she came, she found the head, it's crowning.
Gail's laughing. Yeah. You know, what I find is that we're too focused on full dilatation without allowing the baby to come down. That's why I don't do vaginal examinations. You know, we wait to see the baby's head on the perineum, and then, you know, we know that baby's coming, and if the mum's okay, she walks around, or she'll rest in between the contractions, and that baby will come down. You know, at that stage, I find a lot of people getting women to push for 2 hours, you know, and there's no need. It's just our impatience not letting the baby come down. And I had
you know what? The patient that time, she told me, "You are the doctors." I told her, "No, I don't like doctors. I like midwife. I want to be called midwife." She said, "No, for me, you are the doctor." Really, it was a great experience, and it was in my beginning of starting any practicing midwifery.
Practicing, yeah.
It was really, really, I was very happy when I went home. I feel like I did something great, and I appreciate my job. And the patient, she write for me a big thankful letter. It was really a good experience. Also, here in Saudi Arabia, we have facing a big problem, how to stretch the vagina when the head of the baby going out. And now when the baby is going out, no need to stretch the vagina, traumatize it. I tell her, "Doctor, please don't touch her, leave her, please
alone."
She said, "No, it helped the head to go up." I said, "Doctor, please, this one, it's a muscle. It will be stretched by
itself.
Just give her time." But
we often put some ginger. The ginger on a nice warm
massage
on top of it, just ginger, and just let it.
Then first time she did not believe on me. 3 times, then she's talking to the doctors that I am against her. I don't like to do this properly. I'm not following her order. Then after times, I deliver 3 baby, 4.1 kilo primary intact uranium.
Beautiful.
It was, really. It was yesterday. Yesterday it was my delivery. The last delivery yesterday, 4.1. 80 gram intact perineum. The doctor, she came on, she said to me, "What? No episiotomy?" I said, "No." She cannot believe that. Then she came to check everything. She checked after me. She said, "Oh, great. Oh, great, really. Really, that's why for us as a midwife in Arabic country, we are facing this. They are in hurry. They don't give
the doctors in a hurry. I was very lucky at security forces because we had a very good English obstetrician, and we wrote our own guidelines, and we only called the doctors in if we really needed them. So the doctors used to bring us ice cream because they knew, also they spent the whole night in bed because we midwives with the women knew how to birth, and we were with them, and the obstetricians then trusted us. But somehow, since we got more medical, more epidurals, the doctors took more and more control. And that's what I found to be very sad. But I always, when I get births like you do, I just see your face light up, and I'm 65, but I feel 25 when I've just had a good birth, because you feel younger, you feel excited, you feel happy for the woman, and you feel that you've given her that confidence to do it.
This is our great job. It's only vaginal examination. They thought only we are for PV or vagina. I told them, for us as a midwife, I will touch the patient when she came to assist her. And the second one, if any complication, and the last one, when I put my finger, it will be crowning fully. This is the last time. This is the best.
Beautiful.
I did great. It's not a timing of PV. If as you said in the lecture, you feel the distance of the head by the inspections, by the ultrasound. You feel you can feel how the head is distant. If the head
Yes,
Yeah,
with your hands. And you can, when you hear the heartbeat, it drops lower and lower and lower.
Yeah.
So you know when you get the heartbeat really low down,
Yeah.
you know this baby's down there. So you don't need to look inside. There's no
You know,
need. There's no
really.
need for things.
Also, one time the doctor, she came, she told me, don't examine her, don't touch the patient, because
Yeah.
me,
Don't touch
as a
them.
midwife, we have a big challenge with them. So next time she came to examine the patient, while she's examining, I told her 7 centimeter, 80% efficacy. She looked to me like this. Did you VE her? I told her, no, no need to VE, just
And like, you know, I mean, it's either, you know, she's in early labor, she's in active labor, or she's about to have the baby. So we shouldn't be, you know, the problem is with our IT systems or the hospitals, they want to know how many centimeters on admission.
Yeah.
And I hate that, you know, they should have, you know, early labor, active labor, you know, advanced labor, whatever they want to call it, you know.
Yeah, we are really, now we are empowering midwife in our hospital, and we are working very hard. We have a great team. We are working together. We are encouraging the walking during labor, the exercising, the breathing, how to deal with, how to give patient trust. She can trust you even with her pain. She can trust you that pain is not for a long time. It's short time for your you will have a great action. You will have a baby. That's why you love your baby. So in our hospital, we have a big challenge to that. In the beginning, they don't accept it, but right now we are doing almost 50% of it, and it's a great, really great, and we are very happy. We are looking for natural birth without any intervention, any traumatizing for the patient. So we help the woman. For us, my new concern is, don't call her a patient, call her a client. She's a client. She's not a patient.
She's a person. She's a, you know, they tend to not call women by names. Everybody, they call her a patient, you know. She's a patient. She's a patient.
She's a patient.
They're human beings, you know. She's a woman. She's Mary or Jane or Sarah or whatever. Yeah.
For us, the pregnant woman, it's not sick. She's not sick. She's a client. She's our client, to take care about her, to encourage her, to talk to her.
Well done.
Delivery, as my experience, delivery don't need medication or intervention. Need love. Need communication, trust. This is how to make the client, the pregnant woman, do her delivery smooth and easy, and see that really nice moment how she put the skin to skin. Because here in Saudi Arabia, they don't like. In the first time, she said, no, I don't like to see that. Then we go to her to make her sure that this is the nice moment. She accepts and she wants to put
and on top of that, when we do a little bit of the labor and birth, we're going to show a small part tomorrow, but when we do the full course of it and you understand it and you teach the woman what's happening with her body, how she can relate to it and feel with it, then they don't have horrific pains. You get all the pictures of women screaming and shouting out, but I've never had a woman scream and shout out unless she's been really fearful, because these women have walked around and just breathed the contractions through and dance with them and move with them, and you know, and they're calm. They don't need anything else because their body can do it, because they understand it.
That's
women who don't understand it, who are not connected with their body, they're the ones that scream out, really shout out. They have longer births, they have intense pains, because they don't understand, they're not connected. So I think our future roles as midwife is to really get that woman to connect with her baby, to get to know the position of her baby, what's happening, to really understand contractions and hormones, and you know, get her to work with it. And when they do that, they birth beautifully. The problem is we don't teach them much. And I often see that the midwives don't communicate with women. I was a patient in the hospital. The nurses never even, I was in the bed for 5 days and nobody said hello. They just came up with a computer and they said,
you know what's here we are facing this problem just for the computer writing. She eats, she walk, she talk. Doctor came. I told her I'm because we are working in OB/GYN nurse and midwife. I said, please leave the computer, just communicate. You can make that documentation even in 5 minutes, but she is looking for someone to talk with him. Just they run for the computer, concentrate in the computer. Really?
Yes, and you can learn so much. When I was in Saudi, I mean, in those days, the women had lots of babies. I had one woman, I think she was on her, 18th pregnancy, 18th baby, But the grandmothers were there and the Bedouin ladies come in and they taught me about birth. I asked them how many babies they had. How did they deliver their babies? What do you do in the desert when you're doing home births? So I learned from all these questions. So if you have a grandmother in the delivery room encourage the grandmother to come to the prenatal classes, and you're not just teaching that, you're not just in control teaching them, but they are bringing so much knowledge to us. And yet I don't see anybody talking to anybody.
Yeah, right.
Thank you very much. 5 minutes how to
Thank
make
you very much. You give me
Okay,
this.
thank you, darling.
Thank you so much. Tomorrow, we will talk about labor and birth. Please don't
My English, I'm not perfect in English. I'm not.
You're fantastic.
But I'm speaking French.
No, you're speaking very good.
I speak French.
It's very understandable.
I speak little Arabic. I can just say "Mafi mushkila."
Hi everyone. I would like to take a few seconds. Tomorrow we're going to start the same time, that is 3 p.m. IST, Indian Standard Time. And I had tried to connect with most of you to remind you that it is a session that is going to start. And I've seen so many faces here who have already joined. I would request every one of you not to miss tomorrow's important session and join on time, and the same time day after as well. Laila, you can take.
Can I just sum up something? I would like to thank Sarah and Louise for sharing. Yes. And I am so stimulated, and I'm getting so excited. I'm going to be less than 20 years old, and I'm 80 years old. And so I am so proud of you two for sharing. Please, other ladies, how can I congratulate you and be so empowered and so hopeful in my heart that I've fought for 50 years to hear what you're now telling me. Sarah, what you're telling me makes me cry with happiness. Louise, the same thing, because I finally see that some of the young people are picking it up, and it's not going to die with me. It's going to be passed on to you two ladies and so many of the others that are listening. But you're not, please give me your joy, give me your experiences, because it's going to help me have a more peaceful life, knowing that you're now taking the torch. I love you both. And others, if you share tomorrow, I will enjoy you immensely. And Irene and Leila, I don't know, COVID and Zoom has actually increased my heart.
Yes, I think so.
Now I can see you from all over the world and know that there's hope for better births and healthier babies. So I better go because I'm going to start to cry.
Okay, it's all right, darling. But look, I think the most important thing is that we keep midwifery as it should be, and we need to support these midwives in training that are also working in medical environments, and encourage midwives to speak out and teach the doctors. We used to teach the doctors. The doctors, we need to be a little bit more stronger and a little bit more, outspoken as midwives, to express ourselves and have debates. We need to open these debates and these discussions and bring this drift between obstetrician and midwife together, because it's possible. You know, the obstetricians are scared. They're scared every day they get out of bed. They're scared of the worst thing happening. And if you just make them a cup of tea or give them, you know, a drink and a piece of cake and just say, it's okay, it's okay, you can sleep and rest, I know what I'm doing. You know?
They are right. They are the worst. They are, every time they are the worst. What will happen in their minds? All it's a drama, but for us it's happiness, and it's delivering, and without shouting, without we are panicking. It's a calm delivery, and the pregnant lady will feel happy, and she will talk to you. She will even put your name in heart. She cannot forget you. A few weeks ago, I met the one I delivered her since 13 years old. And she's very happy. I cannot forget. Really, I'm sorry, I cannot remember you, but she said, I cannot never forget your face. You give me all what I need. I forget my mother, my husband, my family when you was with me during my labor and during my first baby. And it was my first experience. Then I was really very happy. I hugged her. Even I cannot remember anything, but I hug her. I still tell her it's okay. I can remember you, but really she showed me the picture of the baby. Is already 13 years old. Really, she told him, this is your second mama. This is your second mama. Just try. She said, you are better than a doctor for me. She said, really, you're better. Really, as my experience, I had a lot of experience. I have a lot of challenge with the doctors. I have a problem. Sometimes the doctors, they push me out from the unit. They don't like me inside because I'm someone who speak up. If that woman lady, it's not for cesarean, I will keep telling that, and I will even encourage the woman to just refuse. You have the right to refuse. I have many experience, but in the end, I am the winner. And
I what I found is sometimes when I worked here at the hospital, some of the doctors will sit in a little side room, you know, and if I've got a space or something, I'm not afraid to go up to them and say, excuse me, you know, can I ask a question? How do you feel about this? You know, and we'll have a discussion. And you build trust with them. It's just that they're not used to people approaching them, you know? Yeah, but if you open yourself up with them, most of them will work with you. They'll not speak down on you. When I was in China, we went to the part near Vietnam, and the doctors and midwives, they were crying, the obstetricians, because they were so stressed. Because they weren't working together, and the doctors were appeared to be carrying all this responsibility, doing all these interventions through stress and fear. But when we brought them together in the classrooms and we got them to do some meditation, and you know, we did some party things where they hold hands and they intertwine with each other, then we brought them all together. And I think that's what's missing, is that we've just got this divide, but most of them are just as human as we are. We just don't know how to talk anymore.
I saw that yesterday. I saw what you're describing in practice yesterday. I had a birth, and it was just like the collaboration between midwives and anesthetist and obstetrician. All of them were working together, and instead of rushing the woman to theater and having a cesarean, they actually brought up interventions, like other interventions I've never heard of before, that gave the woman time to listen to her body and push with her instincts. So that was really great to experience as well, because now I know, like, we don't have to rush. Like, even if we're having the CTG showing prolonged decels, we don't have to rush straight away to the theater. So yesterday, that really opened my experience as well. I noticed, like, even the obstetricians, they were very calm. They brought in this, I forgot the name of the instrument he used to take a sample of the fetal, the blood from the
fetal blood sampling, fetal blood sampling. Yeah,
that was something new for me, and it was great to see how everybody was calm and the way. And she ended up having a vaginal birth, but with forceps. But that was fine as long as it was like a vaginal birth. We were happy in the end, and the baby was healthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was good. Seeing them working.
That was a lovely session. Thank you so much. Please, this is free for this free course. Bring more people with yourself. Bring your friends. Let them attend, and we will provide you certificate. If you attend 3 days course, we will provide you certificate of attendance, and we will register you in our club, Lily Excellent Club. Then for any upcoming free course that we are going to plan to make for you, we will make you gold membership, and you can make more interact with your friends and be more. We will have more friend midwives and doctors from all over the world to share your experience and knowledge together. Yes, thank you. Yes, I read.
Okay, so are we going to finish now, or what time is it?
1 p.m. in 2 minutes.
Already we crossed the time. We are over time now because we have to go for another training. Our IT system, our IT team are giving me notice because they have to start the next class. So we have only 2 minutes. Actually, it is instead of 5 minutes Q&A session, it reached to 30 minutes. But we are so happy. We are happy to hear from attendees. Please, everybody, try to be more active in these classes. Thank you so much. Yes, please.
Okay.
Irene Gill, if you want to add any words at the end of the session, please. And thank you so much for writing in chat box. Niveti, thank you so much.
Yeah. So we look forward to seeing you over the next few days, and we can all do some very exciting things together. Sarah, I've been, you know, Roa from the Ministry of Health in Saudi. Roa Atawali. Can't hear you. Yes. So I've been working and helping there. I'm hoping to get to Saudi at some stage because I want to come see it after 30 years. So I'm hoping to come to Riyadh when the COVID comes down.
If you are in Riyadh, just contact me. I will be very happy to see you, and it's an honor for me to meet with you, really.
I want to see Satine Street and you know, and all the places I saw many years ago. I just want to go and see it again.
Yeah. Now Saudi Arabia is have 1,000 changement. Really, it's changed a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we know Dr. Roa, and she's really a very, very important member to empower midwifery, and she did a lot for midwife. She separates midwife to the nurse, and she's working a lot. Really, she
works very hard. Yeah, I speak with her all the time. She translated the book I wrote. I gave her the book, and she translated into Arabic, My Body, My Baby, for the women.
Yeah. And we can see it in Jarir, that book, and we are really everybody is really interested to that. And really now midwife, it's not like before. It starts built step by step. We hope that we are going in the right way,
we
are doing the right things, and we are here for that. And for us, we are for the next team after us. Maybe we did a little 50%. The next team will do 100. We are working for that. For me, I have a lot of experience in midwifery in Saudi Arabia, because here they don't believe in midwife. A few years ago, they believe on midwife. 5 years only, they believe on midwife. The hospital, you can go to the maternity, labor, delivery, you cannot find any midwife.
Yes, I know, because we had the era when
the maternity units, we were there, we opened them 30 years ago. So the midwives, the European midwives were there, but then we had the issues in the Middle East. So a lot of the European midwives left and the Saudi women couldn't work. So therefore you were just left with nurses and obstetricians. And I think that's how it went. But now it's going to come back. Midwifery is coming back all around the world. And
now it's going back, and they are all the hospital required to have a midwife in labor delivery room.
Yes.
Now it's a requirement.
Yeah, query from Saudi Arabia. They need a nurse if we can work from India to migrate to Saudi Arabia for being as a midwife, and even from other countries, I guess. So hope we can help our nurses and midwives from different parts of the world to improve their skill, and they can get a job from Saudi Arabia with your help and other friends from Saudi Arabia.
Sure.
Okay, sure. All nurses and midwives, you are welcome to Saudi Arabia with Sarah. Why not?
I will tell you something. Our hospital need a midwife, need a nurse, a beginning nurse. I will send the link, and and they are really hiring a lot of people. So it's okay. It will be a pleasure to help others, even for me. Sure.
Great.
All right. Saudi Arabia, dear girls, midwife, nurses all over the world who are in this class. So if you improve your skills and your midwifery knowledge, we will promise you to help you. We have hands from all over the world. Sarah from Saudi Arabia, we have friends from Dubai, we have from Oman and from Kuwait, Bahrain.
We got Brazil.
Brazil. Yeah, exactly. We need midwife. So if you come with us, we will have 18 months midwifery training in India for all of you through NEPNI institutions. And all of the nurses who are graduated with 3 years midwifery, they can attend this 18-month course, and then we will help them to get job in Saudi Arabia or other countries. So I hope tomorrow and the day after tomorrow we get chance to talk together here. It is a start of our gathering and know each other, develop each other knowledge and experience. Don't forget tomorrow 3 p.m. IST. Please join us and be more active in this class. Thank you for chat box. Please write from where you are joining us. It is written, hi, Anita from Indonesia. Wow, so fantastic. We have Indonesian participants. And Anita has written, hello, Anita. Nice to have you here. We are so happy to have you, Anita. Please write in chat box from where you are joining. And please turn on your camera. We want to see your beautiful face.
That's right.
Please. And Jen from Canada. It's 7 a.m. there. Oh, Jen, thank you so much. Even Gail from midnight in Canada.
Can I get, Irene, I need your email. Send it to me, please.
Jen is from Canada. Joan Bastica is from Dominican Republic. It is 8 a.m. now. Wow, so fantastic. Gail, thank you so much for joining us. Next session tomorrow and the day after tomorrow will be 3 p.m.
Put it on the chat, Gail.
Yeah, and please don't forget, we have advanced training
for training. Go to the bottom and click on chat.
December in 9 p.m. IST.
The bottom of your screen and go on the chat button, no?
Yeah, and please write from where you are joining. Anita, we want to hear from you in chat box. Paula, we want to know. Eliana, Veronica, Parveen, Janan, please write from where you are joining us.
Okay. So,
from Qatar. Anita just from Qatar.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nivedita. midwifeinternational@gmail.com. Please share. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to be interested in Anita and Indonesia because I met a lot of midwives from there many years ago, and you're doing amazing things there. So hopefully maybe tomorrow, you're coming on tomorrow, so we'll give Anita a chance to talk about, you know, Indonesia. We'll have some more people talk about what they're doing in different places and share stories. But tonight, I think I'm getting a little bit tired too. Are you tired, Gail? Are you okay? Are you still going strong?
Maria. Yeah. Mariam is from Iran. Yeah. Sorry, I'm interrupting you. Just I'm reading the chat box. Veronica is from Puerto Rico. And very nice, very nice. Please write your name and your location because we want to know you more, please.
Great.
Sorry, I'm interrupting you, Irene. Sorry, I'm interrupting you, Gail. I'm very sorry. I'm so excited to see these girls. Please turn on your cameras for the end of the session. We want to see your old beautiful face and have a group picture together, please. Everybody, please turn on your cameras. Please, Veronica, Eliana, Jen, Nivedita, Zahra, Paula. Wow, so lovely. I see so beautiful smile. Nivedita, Veronica, thank you so much. Really, I'm so tired to look at the black screen. Please always turn on your cameras. Such a beautiful, fantastic smile.
Beautiful people, just seeing everybody now. The pictures are coming up, which is great. It's wonderful.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Eliana, Parveen, Zahra, Jen, Haula, Joanne. Okay, please turn on your camera and let's have last picture tomorrow, 3 p.m. We will see you. Please don't forget and share this link with your friends tomorrow. Oh, yeah, Irene wrote the address, I guess. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, girls, everybody, I want to see you, babe. And kiss to you.
We'll give everybody kisses and big hugs, okay?
Yeah, please. Thank you, Johan. Thank you for your video. Please, please, please. All nurses and midwives who are going to develop your midwifery skills, we are here with you from Lily Excellence Center and this fantastic faculty. We are going to have practical training in India for you from every part of the world. You are welcome to India and Georgia as well. So please be with us. Love you. See you tomorrow. Thank you, Irene. Thank you, Gail. Thank you, everybody.
So much. Thanks, everybody. Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. We love you very much. Gail, hang on a bit and I'll just chat with you for a few minutes, okay? And Lily, hey, we'll just stay on a minute.
Sure.
So bye, everybody else.
Bye. Take care.
Look at all these beautiful people. So it's really good, Gail, to see you at such hours, and you're doing so well.
Oh, I'm always healthy. I never get sick. But I don't have your email address.
I put it on the thing here, on the thing.
Well, I can't see it.
Well, maybe have you
just send me an email. Just send me an email.
I'll write it in our group thing on WhatsApp.
Okay, yeah. Just send me, or write me an email. Break down and write me an email. Force yourself.
Force myself to do it.
Yeah.
Well, if I type it on the Lily Excellent thing in our group thing, you'll have it, and then you can just copy it. Okay. I'll do that now.
But here's my problem. My WhatsApp's on my iPhone. And I do most of my work from email. Like when you send me an app or something to go to all these to see what you're doing, I can't see them. I don't have a computer. I use an iPad and I use an iPhone. So I need everything in a different kind of format or I can't read it.
Right. Okay. Well, I can't actually email because the things are too big. So you wouldn't be able to pick it on your iPad. That's the thing.
Right. So what do I do?
I don't know. If you don't have a computer, unless you can download Dropbox on your iPad.
I can do that. I can do that.
And you might be able to watch it from my link through there.
Right.
Or Lily's link.
So I don't know if it's in my Dropbox. So how do I know if it's, how did it get to my Dropbox? That's
well, that's the thing on the WhatsApp. If you've got it on your iPad, I put the link for the Dropbox thing, so you can just tap on, it'll open the Dropbox link, and then you should be able to see the videos up there. It's a bit tricky, but we'll work something out. We'll work something out.
Okay, yeah, you'd have to talk to my daughter. I mean, I'm depending on my young people, you know, my 50-year-old people.
Right. I understand. I understand.
Yeah,
okay,
I just, it's, yeah, I have to admit, I'm not even that anxious to learn it all, because it's the technology is growing faster than my interest.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I am 65.
You're amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing. Yeah, you're amazing.
Friends my age can't do it. Yeah. Okay, yeah, Lily, well, I can't hear you.
I can see Lily, but I can't hear her.
No, I think she's doing something different. She's got a meeting or something. So I think that we'll call it some time, because it's 1:15 here as well, and you'll be just getting ready for breakfast and then going back to bed, Gail.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. You know me, don't you, already?
Yeah.
The thing is, when the world opens up, I want to go to Saudi Arabia with you. I want to go to India with you. I mean, I really want to meet you, darling.
Yes, you too. You too. I've always wanted to come to Canada.
Yeah, well, or Belize, right? I'm 6 months in each place, pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we can, I'm sure all that will come. The travels will start again at a later time.
Yeah, I hope so too. But anyway, so there's still places I want to go. I would still like to teach a little bit. I would still like to just visit clinics and see all these marvelous young people that are just taking the torch. And I would like to share some of your wonderful work with some of the nurses and diabetic people here too. That I think if I could get that video somehow, that it would be really beneficial to so many that I know in my head. You know what I mean? It's
Yes, and that's what we're trying to do is with Lily, is to put them on a site so that you'll be able to link them.
Right. So I can send people there. Yeah, I would love that. I mean, even if I had to pay, because a lot of Belizeans, they don't make much money, but I can pay for them to go to the site. You know, I don't care how I get it. I just would like to get it.
Yeah, well, that's the idea, is to get all of them. I've done 64.
Oh my God!
Got 64 of them.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Oh Lord. Yeah, I wrote one little book, and that took me like 7 months.
And I've just trialed them out. So yeah, I wrote 5 textbooks in a year.
Oh my God, would you be quiet? I'm feeling so ignorant and oh gee.
Hi Diane. Our class finished. Hi dear, how are you? Our class finished. It is our group talking time.
Yes, that's right.
Tomorrow again.
Oh, look at Diane there. Okay. Well, listen, we'll all catch up again tomorrow then, because I'm getting a bit tired, because it's now like 1:30 and I've got a visit to do early in the morning. So we'll all catch together and give everyone a chance. Yeah, tomorrow. You joining us tomorrow, Diane? I can see Diane there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Diane, she's on mute
tomorrow.
Yeah. I became so happy to start, Diane. I don't want to leave the meeting, but our next class is started and they need to link up Zoom. Our IT team sending me message one after one that why you haven't finished, the other teacher is waiting for the chat room. I don't want to leave. Oh, Hawla is from UAE, Royal Women Hospital.
All right,
thank you, Hawla. Thank you so much. At least we know our attendees, and tomorrow we can make more communication with them. We know from where they are coming. Thank you so much, Hawla.
Okay, Bye-bye.
Thank you so much,
Talk to you
Diane,
later,
joining
guys.
us. Thank you.
Bye,
I have
everybody.
to go. Shukriya, everybody. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Kala.
I'm going
Salam.
to. Bye-bye.
Hope to see
Bye,
you tomorrow,
everybody.
Diane. Bye.
See you
Thank you, Mariam.
tomorrow,
Merci,
okay?
Mariam. Zahra. Everybody, thank you so much.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye. Bye.